Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Kalispell, Montana. And it is a warm day. It's in the 50s today, and almost all the snow is gone from the ground. Looks like there's still some in the mountains, so if you're a skier and want to come skiing, I think there's still a little bit, but I don't think they got any snow while we were gone. We are supposed to get some rain this week, which means the mountains will get some snow. So if you like skiing, you can still come skiing. I'm not a skier. We did our snowmobiling, so that's what we like to do. All right, so today is Tuesday, therefore it is Kit Together Tuesday again. Woohoo! So what I would like to say is that I will be going live every Tuesday for Kit Together Tuesday, but my time right now cannot be a set time all the time because of appointments for my folks. So I will do the best I can to keep it as consistent as possible, but for the most part, it might vary a little bit on Tuesdays. Wednesdays is set for 9:45, Thursdays is set for 9:45 a.m. Mountain Time for Paper Pumpkin Playdate. And let me just tell you, if you've gotten a notice, the Paper Pumpkin subscriptions, whether it's to month or the prepaid 3, 6, or 12 months, is going up a few dollars. All right, right now it's $25. It's going up to $29, and that is because of the cost of the product. All right, the adhesives that are in it, the papers that are in it. It's not shipping costs. It's actually the product cost, the quality products that you get in it. So it's not going up until March 11th, though. So that means you have some time to get in on the price that it is now, the $25. So you can go to my website, junebugcreations.stampinup.net. You can message me and ask me for it if you're not sure. Excuse me, my nose is all of a sudden running. Why right before a live? So just know that you could get in on it now. If you do a prepaid subscription, you get the lower price for the whole rest of your subscription. So like if you did a 12-month subscription, now would be the time because you can then get it. Now, if you're already in the middle of a subscription, you can wait a little while to put in your new code for the next subscription, but you would have to pay for that now. Or you can do the month to month. Now, if you're doing the month to month though, you're going to get the lower rate for the February kit. March kit. However, it would go up then your next month. So really the way to lock in the lower price is to do a prepaid subscription, either 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. All right, so you can check that out at my website, and we're going to be starting to do the Paper Pumpkin folks. We're going to start doing a Paper Pumpkin Zoom together so we can work on our kits. And in that Zoom, I will be sharing some things that I don't share online to make it a little extra special for my subscribers. So come check that out. I would love to have you. And for those of you that are subscribers, that's just a sneak peek of an email you will be getting about our new Paper Pumpkin Zoom so that we can play with our paper pumpkins together. You can ask questions, we can go through things, and I can show you some other ideas that I'm not showing here online on the live. So let's go ahead and get started with this though, because this is Kit Together Tuesday, and some new kits just came out today as well. Actually 3 new kits. One of them is clipboards, which I ordered, of course, and then 2 other kits. Somebody must like moths because one of the kit has moths on it, and moths can be really, really cool. They're not as pretty as butterflies in the way that butterflies are pretty with the bright colors and stuff, but some moths can be really, truly amazing. This one is one of our, I think it's a January kit, January or February. I think it's February. I think I decided to do February, work my way backwards. So we've got the Adopt a Pet kit. If you have kids, grandkids, students, Sunday school kids that you like to do stuff with, this would be perfect for them. I'm excited to play with this. Let's get out our scissors. I'm going to get out the bone folder because I see some folding there. I'm going to get out my Take Your Pick tool because you know I like to have that on hand. And then, of course, my tweezers because it looks like there might be some small pieces. I'm going to stick that up here so I don't lose it. Invariably, how many of you end up losing the lid to your scissors or the lid to your Take Your Pick tool? I think when I take it off from now on, I'm going to be doing it there. Yeah, so I have animals who can now come into my studio, whereas in the other house, they could not come into my studio. So hopefully Millie will stay quiet. She's the only one that I really worry about. Although sometimes Benji will just come walking by. We haven't figured out how to put a door at the bottom of the stairs. As soon as we figure that out, that's what we will be doing. All right, so we have adopt a pet. We have 4 different pets. We have a dog, a cat, a parakeet, and a guinea pig. Now, growing up, we had a little blue parakeet named Yaki, and that was from one of the cartoons. I can't remember which cartoon. I don't know if it's Sylvester and the little bird was named Yaki, but we had him for quite a while. I've never had a guinea pig myself, but in Germany, my friend's family had a whole bunch of guinea pigs, and in German, they are called Meerschweinchen. And so we used to call the parents Mama and Papa Meerschweinchen because they had a whole thing of guinea pigs. That was super fun. We do have 2 cats. Benji kind of looks like this one. And then we do have a dog. Our dog is almost all black, and then she has a little bit of white. But it's super fun to see this, different ways that they have their little houses. You know, cats love boxes, so here's a box for them. So let's go ahead and check it out. And we will make these together so you can see how easy it would be for you to be able to do that with the kiddos in your life. So we do have the adoption cards in different languages. All right, these are German. These are all the German ones, and they're not double-sided. Certificate of adoption. Trying to find them all. Then we have this one, certificate of adoption. These are the 4 American or English ones. Then we have I guess that's French. So we have English, French. I guess we don't have, let's see, maybe this is French. Maybe the German and the Dutch are the same. Sometimes some of their words are the same. All right, or very close together. Let's move that out of the way. Let's figure out what all goes with the guinea pig. So with the guinea pig, we have this one. Let me find the guinea pig. Here's the guinea pig. We have this. And then we have these little seeds. And somewhere, some ears or something. Trying to find everything. All right, let's keep going. We'll separate some things out. Oh, the ears are right there. All right. So then we have the dog house, the bird cage, the dog house, and the box. All right. Let's see. Let's see. We'll just move me out a little bit so you can see better. All right, here we go. And then we have the cat that goes with the box. This goes with the dog house. The fish goes with the cat. The little bell goes with the bird. So I had a parakeet as a kid. We had a parakeet in the house and fish tank. And then when I was in college, I got a cockatiel. And I loved my cockatiel. His name was Akito because he actually learned to do some talking and some whistling. So that was super fun. Here we go. And she goes a little bit crazy when Dad does the recliner. So that's what you're hearing when she goes a little bit wacko. It's because she hears the recliner, and I'm not sure what it is about the recliner, if it's just the noise. So we have our certificate of adoption for each one. I'm going to keep those to the side. Let's go ahead. Let's see. We're going to start with number 1, and then we have number 2, number 3, and number 4. Birds are always, or have always been, one of my favorite animals, whether they're outdoor birds, indoor birds. I love birds. What animals do you love? What animal have you always wanted to have as a pet, but you know either your mom and dad were like, no way, Jose, or it would be way too expensive, or you didn't have any place to put them? I always wanted an elephant. There's that song, I Want an Elephant for Christmas. I know there's a hippo one too. I never heard that one until I was an adult. I only ever heard the I Want an Elephant for Christmas. So I'm going to pop all of these out, but you know what? I'm going to keep them and make a card with them. Or they could be used for putting small sentiments on. So we have lots. We have lots. We'll have to see. I'm going to do something with those though. I have a hard time. I just saw somebody else's post today, Craft a Blessing or something like that. And, or something to do with crafting and blessings. And she said she was not a paper hoarder, she was a scrap paper hoarder. And I thought, oh yes, I discovered that in my move, that I really had an unheard of amount of scrap strips, mainly, but just any scraps. And I told my husband, I said, you know what? I said, why don't you just, without me looking, just let those fall into the recycle bin. I don't want to see it. Don't let me see it. I said, just let them fall into the bin. He's like, no, it's okay. You can take them with you. We can move them. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I wanted to start over. So I have all those scraps. And I keep trying to decide right now. Some of them are in a box to be recycled. And others I have kept. And I'm having a hard time getting that box to the recycle bin, because I keep thinking, oh, I should just do something with them. Well, when you have a pile like this of paper strips, it's hard to think of what I could do with them. So how many of you are in the same boat? How many of you have a pile, like if you put your hands around them, you couldn't even touch your fingers? How many of you have that many paper strips that you've cut off when you're making things, and then you just didn't use them for anything, and they've just piled up and piled up and piled up? So we should just do a scrap paper Zoom craft along kind of thing, where all we use is scrap paper strips to come up with ideas on how to make cards. That actually sounds like lots of fun. All right, so we've popped out all the strips. Now we want to use our Take Your Pick tool to, or use our bone folder to fold everything. I'm gonna move some of this stuff out of the way. I'm gonna move those little things out of the way. We're gonna fold everything inward. All right, and I'm gonna use the bone folder because the bone folder just helps make your creases so much nicer. All right, so that one's already. Excuse me. I think I need a quick drink of water. I think I inhaled air. I went down the wrong tube. Please tell me you do that too. You choke on air, or you choke on your spit, or I don't know. I don't know if it's just my family or if it's everybody. All right, so this one is going to go back this way because it's going to open, but I'm not going to, here we go, like this. And then of course these are going to be what hold the little cage for our guinea pig together. almost said the German word, had to think about that for a minute. All right, so we're going to start with this one, I think. Do like that. All right, there we go. Yep, just like that. What you doing? All right, and then we're going to do it like this. So we're going to take these 3 off all at the same time. 3M, yep, they do amazing things, right? All right, so we're going to fold this like this. Here we go. Like this. Like this. And this one is like that. All right, so then, because it's easier to get the bone folder in there, I'm going to just run this across those adhesive strips to make sure they stuck, which of course you know they did. It's 3M, it always sticks. Sometimes not where you want it, right? All right, so there is our little cage for our, that doesn't stand up in any way, just lays down. But we have our little guinea pig to put together. We have some here. All right, so all the adhesive is on it already. You don't have to add it. That's going to make it much easier for the kids. All they have to do is take it off. We have this one going this way. This would be really pretty simple for kids. I mean, you'll have to judge your own kiddos as to what age you figure they could handle it. So we'll go ahead and take this off and this one off. And yeah, I just used my fingernail. So we're going to adhere this to this, and I'm going to line up the belly with that, and then we're going to push the nose together. All right, that gives him a completed look. And then his ears are going to fold backwards like this. And it's going to fit right, here we go. It's going to fit right here like that. Oh my gosh, isn't he so cute? I always wanted a guinea pig, but I was a little bit afraid of them because if they bite, they hurt, because I'd had friends with hamsters and it kind of hurts. So super cute, super cute. Let me just check. It's not showing me any comments at the moment, so I just want to make sure I haven't missed anyone's comments. Hi, Covina. Great to see you. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is not showing comments. There you go. All right, there it is. Here it comes. All right. Hello, Covina. Do you have grandkids that you think would enjoy this kit? Look at this cute little guy. You can put him in here like that, like he's coming out, or he can just be next to it. Here's his little food dish, and I've got that all out of camera. All right, now what I would be inclined to do, and I'm going to do, is I'm going to take a little bit of glue and put it here. And I'm going to put his little food dish on the inside of the cage. All right, just like this. All right. All right, let's see. There we go. Had a little bit too much glue there. And so then he's got his food in his cage, because that's typically, I guess not all kids feed him in there, but And does he really even fit all the way? He doesn't even fit all the way. But most kids leave it open anyways because they're going to be playing with him. And then he can just go in there and he can eat his food and then he can come back out and go play with the other animals. Cute, 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 cute. All right, let's do the dog. The dog. All right, so we're going to bone fold everything. Some of you may have grandkids that are way too old for this. Maybe you have great grandkids that this would be perfect for. I don't know. I don't have any grandkids yet. And since my son is only going to be 22 and still in college, I don't want any grandkids right now. Now is not the time for grandkids. Let me tell you. All right, so here we go. We got to see him compete this weekend. I think if you were on Instagram, then my Junebug Creations 29 Instagram page tends to also have my personal Facebook page show up on it. I don't know how that happened, but it did, and it does. And so I don't know how to change it. I'm not even sure how it got set up that way, but I've just kind of left it that way. So we're going to fold this over again so that it catches right there, like that. So here's our little dog house. Woohoo! All right, and then we're going to take these off, and these are thick enough to where you can use your fingernails, or you can use your take your pick tool, whatever works for you. We're going to go ahead and fold our little roof in half. So we're kind of going to have a little Snoopy dog house right here. I'm going to fold this up a little bit. All right, and then we're going to put this down. Let's see. No, I just started doing it. All right, so it comes over in the front. So here's the front. So we want to make sure it hangs over in the front, but does not hang off in the back. All right, so again, we're going to use our bone folder to make sure it's sticking like that. And there we have our cute little dog house. How adorable. All right, and then we have a little rope, chewing rope. We all know, or those that have dogs know, that dogs need something to chew on. Definitely, without a doubt, if you do not want them chewing on, we're going to fold his tail up. If you don't want them chewing on your shoes or other things in your house, make sure that you have a rope or something for him to chew on. So this one is going to go right here. And we want to line that up like that. There we go. And then this one is going to fold upwards because that's going to be for his head. All right, right there. There we go. Here's our little dog. Oh, he's so cute. Cute, 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 cute. And then he's got his little chew toy. So we have our chew toy, we have our dog, and we have our cute little house. He is adorable. Can't wait to put these guys on my shelf. All right, so now we have our cat. Has a little fish. Let's put our cat together. I'm going to call it a she because we have two female cats. And then we have a female dog, but that dog definitely looked like a little he. All right, so we're going to fold everything in, and in. Fold tail up. All right, these two are going to fold in. This one is going to fold back. This one is going to fold in. All right, so we're going to take our tape off of these two. And this one is going to go right here. And I'm lining this up again. Oops, lining this up again. I guess I need to pay closer attention to my camera, huh? Here we go. I'm lining this up. So it sits like this. This one goes back again for the head. All right, for the head, right there. Right there. Oh my gosh, look how cute. Almost does look like Benji. With those stripes. All right, let's do the box. And Benji loves boxes. Loves, 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 loves boxes. All right, these look like our boxes. Here's a fun Stampin' Up! Box. I actually have one or two of those little Stampin' Up! Boxes we used to have. That would be fun to put the little cat in one of those, right? Benji loves my Stampin' Up! Boxes. Any box will do. I think I've shown you that she's actually sleeping in a Stampin' Up! Box right now. I put her bed in a Stampin' Up! Box so that it had a little bit of a frame to it so it wasn't falling all over the place, and she spends a lot of time in there. And she'll even sometimes spend the night in there. All right, so let's fold this over. This over, and you can see I'm not even using the bone folder all the time, and it's fine. So we're going to pull this off like we did before, and we're going to fold it in half so that this, you can see right there. Ooh, let's line that up. There we go, like that. And then let's see. Oh, these are going to be the top pieces that are open. So I folded them the wrong way, but that's okay, because you could just fold it any old way. And then, apparently I forgot to fold some of these. So we're going to leave that on so that I can fold this. All right, so now we're going to take off these pieces of tape backings. And we're going to do just like the doghouse, just like the cage. We're going to put those in so that they all connect right here at, oh, come on. Right there at the edge. And I'm just kind of keeping my fingers on it. There we go. Just like that. And again, we're going to use the bone folder to push it down. And there's our box. And if I know the cat, it's going to be like that in the box more often than not. How cute! How cute! And I love that the dog will fit coming out of his house. All right, last one, we have the bird, the parakeet, and the little bell. My bird had a couple different bells, and he loved to jingle jingle them. So we're going to pop those pieces out. And on the cage, I'm going to keep those strips because if nothing else, they would make great sentiment strips for cards. So, the small ones, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. I'll show you. But like I said, I have a scrap paper hoarding problem. I need some intervention. All right. I was trying to get intervention by having my husband recycle all that scrap paper, all those scrap paper strips for me. And he didn't. So maybe we have a hoarder problem together. Don't throw stuff away because you might be able to use it. But you have to have the place to store it, right? Don't you have to have the place to store it? It's all fine and good to keep it. But you have to have the place to store it. If you don't have the place to store it, then you just really can't keep it unless you want your house to become a disaster, which I don't. There's too many people in this house to allow for that. All right, so yeah, some of these shapes like this, actually, I'm not even going to put them over there in that pile. The curve shapes, well, those other curve shapes I will, but not these. Not these. I'm going to go ahead and recycle them now. But that's a good size one. These are good size ones for sentiments. You could even turn these into cards, right? Because you could just cut the bird in half and turn it into a card. I don't know if I bought a second one of these kits. I might have to do that, get another one of these kits and turn them into cards and show you that. So, and then you could totally use these as sentiment pieces on your card. For the cage, if you were to turn this into a card, you could use half the cage for one card, or one door for one card, one door for another card. And then I don't know what you would do with this. You can maybe make other cards for other animals. So that's a possibility. You could get a fair amount of mileage out of these things because those would be perfect for little sentiments. So, waste not, want not, right? That's how I grew up. It's probably how a lot of you grew up, hearing that. All right, so now this is going to curve because it's a cage, so there's no folding lines. So we're going to take the tape off of here. Ooh. That one, there we go. Fingernail didn't want to catch under that. And then we're going to take it off over here. And this one's going to be curved, so it's going to be a little bit trickier. So I think what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm going to fold these out because I don't want them to get stuck until I get this part figured out. So I'm going to do one and then the other, and I'm just going to line up my pink line there. And pull that out a little bit more. You know how this 3M tape is. Once it's down, it's down. There we go. And then we want to do this side. Line up that pink line. And line up that edge. Not quite. All right, and now we want to go ahead and do this one so that it helps hold that curve. All right, and then of course, again, we're going to use our bone folder even on, I like the round edge for that. All right, there we have our little bird cage and our little bell. And I think think I'm going to stick the bell in here. I think I'm going to use a little mini glue dot. Right there. Because the bell's usually on the inside or outside of the cage for them to play with. My bird was always allowed outside the cage. When I went to college, my mom made him, his name was Akito, he was a cockatiel, and my mom made him a little playpen. So it was wood base, it had acrylic sides to it that he could see through, and then it had, what was in the bottom of it? I'm not even sure if there was anything in the bottom. And then he had little things to climb on, little ladders, I think a swing. And she just made an amazing, amazing little playpen. We called it a playpen for him to keep him busy and occupied. And it sat on top of his cage. His cage was that big that it sat on top of his cage. So he could just come out. They just opened up the door. He would come out, crawl up to the top, because of course his wings were clipped to keep him more secured. So we want to bend the bird feathers back. We're going to pull these together, and all we're doing here is just the bird beak. There we go. Just the bird beak, just like that. Oh, and the feet need to come out. There he goes. Hop, hop, hop. Hop, 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 hop. This is so cute. You know, if you have kids and you do these little projects with them, they are going to play with them until they fall apart, because that's just the way kids are. So we have a bird, we have a cat in the box, we have a dog and his dog house and his chew toy, and then we have a guinea pig with food inside. So I'm going to put him inside eating. Here we go. That's good. Make his cage door stay a little more open so he can be eating. All right, so there are our 4 animals. So we have our parakeet and cage with the bell on the outside. We have our dog and house with chew toy. We have our cat in the box with fish, because you know that's where they're going to be, is in the box, not outside the box. It's the cheapest cat toy you could ever buy. Well, depending on what was in the box. And then you have your guinea pig with your seeds inside and your little cage. And your kids will play with this for hours and hours on end until they get wet and get ruined or torn because they played so much. And then you can do a certificate. This certifies that, so say my grandchild's name was Charlie. This certifies that Charlie has officially adopted, we'll say Benji, signature, and date. So, such a cute idea. Such a cute idea. Oh my gosh. Who's going to do this with their kids or grandkids or Sunday school class or school class? I mean, you could have some parents pitch in because there's 4. The kit is not that much. Let me see, how much is the Adopt? So the Adopt a Pet, it's only $15. You have 4 animals in it. So realistically speaking, you could even have parents pitch in some money. So 4 divided by, so, you know, like $4, $5, and you could do this. You could do this certificate of adoption. Let each child pick one that they want to make. Hopefully they don't all want the same thing so that there's no fighting. And you could do this with the kids. If it's your grandkids, then it's just a fun activity to do with them, or your own children. It's just a fun activity. I mean, they're so cute. They're so cute. Look at that cute little face. Look at that. So adorable. So adopt a pet. This way is a lot cheaper than buying the real pet. A lot cheaper than the real pet. Let me tell you. You don't have to feed it for real. You don't have to water it for real. You don't have to take it for a walk. You don't have to worry about it flying around and getting stuck high up on a counter. You don't have to worry about it nibbling through something or nibbling on wires that you didn't want it to wire. You don't have to worry about it scratching up your couch. Oh, I think these feet were supposed to be turned back as well, like the bird. Let's see, did I miss that on the dog? Nope, the dog was not. There's no line here. No line here. All right, so have fun with it. Play. I'm going to be displaying these, I'm not sure where. I haven't done a shelf yet for displaying stuff, but this will be definitely on one of those shelves. So have fun. If you have any questions about how to put this kit together, what if if you have a struggle on something, or any of the other kits. We have more kits that came out today, so make sure you go take a look at that. Of course, I've ordered mine, but I don't have them. So in the meantime, until I get it, I'll keep working on kits. I think this was January. I think I just got a box today, so I probably should do an unboxing, and then we'll see what other kits are coming. So have a great rest of your day. I'm going to come back in 5 minutes and do that unboxing, and then I'm going to get to work on finishing my craft room. So I'll see you in 5 minutes for an unboxing.